Hello and happy Monday, everyone, or happy whatever day it is you happen to be watching. Today, I knew this would be happening, I'm back in the chicken coop. Just noticed that my chickens are not getting any eggs. There's a couple reasons for that, I'm guessing. We're not quite getting 12 hours a day. Hello, guys! So, need at least 12 to 14 hours generally to get eggs, and we're not quite getting that. Like maybe we're getting 12 hours, so. But there are other factors that we're gonna look at to see if maybe they're too cold or some other things. They're still not quite using the roosts, so I have a couple factors I'm gonna try to work out to see if we can get them using them. So let's try it. First and foremost, we should probably fill up your food, huh? Yeah. Because when we empty it out, we get real rude and we knock it over. Okay, we'll do that first. Are you two gentlemen done having your spat? It kind of looks like it. I don't know if you can tell, but Franklin, right here, and then Pip over in the corner have a little bit of damage. Missing some feathers, a little scratched up around their combs and wattles. They got into a little bit of a spat a couple days ago where Pip was being a bully and was chasing Franklin around, and Franklin was just like, I don't want anything to do with you, man, and kind of hid in the corner. But they look like they're doing okay now. They're hanging out with each other again, so I wonder if they just had a disagreement over a lady. Because, I mean, they are roosters. Just like people, the main things your chickens are going to need to be happy and healthy are daily food and water, shelter, and warmth. I mentioned this earlier, but hens normally need between 12 and 14 hours of sunlight to consistently lay eggs. This, of course, is just an average. But what happens when there's less sunlight is it triggers their bodies to go into rest mode. This means they'll put more energy into staying warm and surviving versus laying eggs. With my birds, I specifically remember being surprised last winter by getting eggs through the season with little to no interruption. So getting no eggs right now is out of character for my flock. I can safely rule out the factor that they're not getting enough food and water. As you can see in this frame, I have gravity feeders and waterers. Food and water move downward into the dispenser as resources are consumed by the birds, and it's easy for me to see when they need to be refilled. Because food and water aren't the issue, it must be either shelter or heat that needs to be addressed so my birds start laying again. My best guess is that the birds aren't using the new coop. I have a couple guesses as to why that's happening. One is there's a leak right over the nest boxes that allows water to drip into the bins when it rains. I know if I was a hen, I wouldn't want to lay my eggs in a soggy nest box, so we're going to fix that problem first. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take part of the roof from the old coop to cover the boxes and interrupt that dripping water. This will have to work for now until I can get up on the roof and caulk around each screw or nail securing the roof to the frame. I made 2 attempts on this whole roof situation. I was really pleased with the piece that I had. It was the perfect length. The only issue I was running into is that with the first setup that I have that you can see here is it sat too flat, and that would encourage the birds to try to roost on top of it. To try to work around that so they wouldn't sit on top of it, what I ended up doing is pulling down this first attempt and taking other pieces, basically stealing other pieces of wood from the other bits of the coop that I had left over and making it so it sat at a steeper angle, which will hopefully deter them from sitting on top of it. It was right around here where I was thinking of ways to prop the roof up out of the way so the temptation to get on top of it wasn't there for the birds, but I realized this would defeat the purpose of protecting the nest boxes, and I ultimately decided to try a different design. I was lucky to find angle supports on the parts of the old coop that I could steal, because otherwise I would have had to find a way to cut an angle into a piece of wood that I could use, which could be potentially dangerous if attempted on the wrong piece of equipment, and I didn't know if what we have could safely make those cuts that I need. The second theory I had as to why I wasn't getting eggs is my hens didn't know where to lay their eggs. The old coop that I had was the only place a lot of those hens had ever known where to lay their eggs. Now that it's gone, they don't know where to lay. To fix this, I'm going to try to trick the hens into laying in the new nest boxes by planting fake eggs. The idea with the fake eggs would be to put them in the nest I want them to lay in so they could see them, and that would trigger them to think, oh, I should lay here because there's already an egg here. There are plastic eggs you can go buy that would do this thing. What I did is I just wandered around my yard and grabbed rocks that roughly looked like the eggs my hens lay, so I'll just be keeping an eye on the boxes for the next few days to see if this trick works and they start laying in there as well. And the third and final guess that I have is they don't know where to roost at night, which means they're not roosting together. By sleeping together, birds conserve energy by sharing warmth. When they don't roost together, they spend more time and energy staying warm and less time producing eggs. The easiest way for me to fix this problem right now is to install a temporary heat lamp over the roosts I want to encourage them to sleep on. Once they are roosting together again, I would then theoretically be able to remove the heat lamp and they'd stay warm by huddling together. The other option I have is to build a wall enclosing door in the current opening that is the coop's door. Then I could go out and physically put the birds into the coop at night and shut them in until morning. This would provide the heat and shelter that they need, and it would train them to use the building. So all I would need to do is close it at night and let them out again in the morning. This option requires more materials and time that I'm not sure I have, so I'm taking the easy route right now of installing the heat lamp, and I'll eventually build that door and wall extension later. Ideally, what I probably should have done was move the old coop into the building I was converting into the new coop. The birds would have gotten accustomed to sleeping in the new building, and it probably would have been an easier transition for them. I then could have taken my time removing the old coop, but it's too late for that now, so we're going to work with what we've got. Going back to the video now, you can see I'm putting in a couple final screws to hold this cover in place. I might eventually install additional supports so there's less of a risk of breaking if someone really wants to sit on the roof, but I think it'll be fine for now. The next big task is to check on the extension cord that runs from the barn to the coop to see if it is still usable so I can attach it to my heat lamp and get that set up for the birds. There it is. Hopefully that's steep enough of an angle no one will try to sleep up on top of it. It's not sturdy enough to hold anything and will definitely break. And there should be plenty of space still underneath for the hens to get into the nests. Sweet. That's broken off. That's no good. Alright, well I guess we're not using that guy then. Sweet. Never mind. The plan was to look at how long this cord was. So, see if we can find the other end. There's the other end. Yeah, that's definitely not gonna work. Alright, well the plan was to extension cord, because that right there is the shed, or the coop. So the plan was... Why? Yeah. So run an extension cord along this and along the building up to the inside, so right over the roost spots would be a heat lamp. But that cord, first off, is damaged, so it's not going to do it. So I need to get a different cord, and I don't know how long that guy is. It's probably about 50 feet, so I'd want like at least 100-footer. Okay, that's next on the list, but it's been not too bad. So we'll start there with what we have, and I'm not super concerned about getting eggs right now. Whatever. Demand has gone down for people we'd been selling them to, and I don't want to put a lot of stress on the chickens because a lot of things have changed for them. So we're gonna go ahead and clean up. That'll be it. Next weekend we are out of town, so the next Monday is gonna be all about us getting ready to leave the farm to a sitter. So hope you enjoy. Thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. You can follow me here on my Instagram. You can go look at my blog. You can follow me on TikTok. And I'll see you next week. Bye.